When you're in a relationship with a narcissistic person, it could be parents, siblings, co-worker, boss, husband, wife. It's really hard to sometimes believe that they are truly abusive and what you've been experiencing is abuse, because of course they can do lovely things. Like my mother does a lot for me, but and we're also told, that we shouldn't look at everything in black and white. All human beings are flawed, and we will all let each other down in some way or not show up in ways that, the other person expected us to. But what differentiates, someone from just being human, being flawed, or maybe having toxic traits to an actual narcissist is that when they're consistently minimizing your emotional experience, invalidating you, making you feel guilty when you hold them accountable, and somehow you end up apologizing to them when you just wanted to clearly communicate an issue in the hopes that it can strengthen understanding in the relationship. And you almost see like a 5-year-old child emotionally, where once their shame gets activated, they'll explode with rage, or they will gaslight, or they will manipulate. When you have repeatedly told this person, look, when you do this, this is how it's affecting me, and they have zero ability to want to change. They have zero ability to actually reflect inwardly and say, do you know what? I'm sorry. I want this to work. Therefore, I'm willing to look at my part to play. When you know that that person is totally incapable of doing that, you have to close the door and walk away, because they are committed to staying how they are. And every time we just submit and we surrender to that type of behavior, we now are actually enabling them, and we have to also be held accountable for our part to play, because we are enabling the abuse. And I know it's really hard, and I know when you're in it, it's so difficult because you're almost under this fog. The Bible describes this behavior as witchcraft, manipulation, control, domination, and Satan was the king of manipulation. But even now, when you put those boundaries in place, or you do the cut off, or you pull away, you actually still question yourself, like, oh, did I do the right thing? Maybe they wasn't that bad. But this is just conditioning of your brain chemistry and spiritually as well. You've been entangled with this person. So there's a lot to work through. And I'm going through that at the moment. There's times when I have to keep praying and asking God, please God, just confirm that, again, give me confirmation again, Father, that I'm doing the right thing. Or I'll go on ChatGPT as well, because this is where your neuro pathways need to be rewired, and they can only be rewired when you're completely away from them. You regain your sense of safety again, you regain clarity. But when you're in it, you will not be able to see clearly what's going on. When you take a step back, and even when you're dealing with someone who's reasonably healthy, a healthy relationship should always be two people working together for the common goal, not one-sided, where that person just gives, and the other one will take, have no accountability, doesn't want to understand your emotions, doesn't want to understand, what are your fears, your concerns, your hopes, your dreams, right? So what's happening is we're just slowly being erased from the inside out till you become a shell of yourself. And this is actually called destiny swapping. You'll notice that the narcissist feels empty and low and full of self-hatred, even though they'll mask it as arrogance and superiority. That's what they truly feel deep inside. So they want to take all of the goodness and the supply that you're giving them. It feeds them, and then you're left completely drained. So it's almost like you swap roles. So please don't allow anybody to steal your destiny this year, in Jesus' mighty name. And if you are looking for advice, you need support, message me. We're offering free one-to-one coaches, and if you don't want to come with me, I can put you in the path of one of our other coaches which I'm affiliated with, and make this year a new change, a new start. It's time to say no to the narcissist and yes to you and yes to your future. Jesus loves you.